everyone! My name is Saint SYK. And did all of you have a happy holiday? I hope you all did. Now, with the release of Album 2, we were able to release Track 1, which I hope you all promptly enjoyed. It was supposed to be released on Christmas Eve, but I got wrapped up in things, and I got a new computer. Yes! We're finally moving up! We made it, Ma! This is like when I got a skin in Valorant. This is a big moment. But setting up that computer promptly took a lot more time than I expected. But we got right back on our feet, and we posted Track 1, and here we are, recording and editing for Track 2, which is called It's Proof of the End of a Friendship. No, I don't have it on the TV, so I would remember it because it was too long. Anyway, look at all the neat stuff I got! Look at this! Oh yeah, take my picture with it. This was gifted to me by my gracious and great friend, Lord HMR. You know, similar to my likeliness of being Saint SYK. A name that follows in suit of my brand, you could say. But look at how cool this is. Huh? Eh? It's like when PewDiePie had Danny DeVito in his setup. Or when Laserbeam had... Or maybe it was Laserbeam that had Danny DeVito. I don't know. Someone had a cardboard cutout of Danny DeVito at some point in time. And look! So do I. Look at that. Everything's upgrading. Look, we got a new computer. Show the computer. Look it. It's recording the audio as I speak. Back to me, Jit. And look at... We got... I have a keychain. You'll never notice it, but it's my personal lucky charm. And you know who else got a gift? That's right, our goat. Our goat got a gift. Keep it rolling. Don't record me. Keep it there. Look who got a gift. Look at that. Look at that. It even says her name and everything. Wow. Sayaka, you weren't even in the last track. The last two, nonetheless.
Yeah.
Great stuff, huh? But enough about the holidays. No one wants to hear about that. Christmas was basically forever ago. It's time for us to return to what we were always meant to return to. Magia Record. Oh yeah, baby. Now, last where we left off, we were watching Not Madoka adapt to the world around her, as the plot moved at a breakneck pace. I was wondering if we would maintain that same pacing, and boy did we ever. One thing that I'm starting to really notice is, Magia Record sometimes sort of feels like it doesn't quite have the pacing of a show, but rather the pacing of a game. Sometimes when I'm sitting there, I'm like, wow, this is moving kind of slow. I don't really know why this is happening right now. As I was actively watching this episode, there was genuinely a moment where I was thinking to myself, I feel like every episode of Madoka Magica is very meticulously planned, you know? Very thoroughly thought out, so that each minute is used specifically and wisely. But in this, there was a few moments where I was sitting there and I was like, alright, what are we doing, guys? And one of my favorite things that has happened a good number of times so far already is when X thing is brought up and then X thing is happening, like, within the same conversation. Than I expect, you know, they're dragging nothing out right now. Like, oh, we need to go to Kamihama City, that's where magical girls are saved. And then they're just like, there, within the same conversation. Oh, what was my wish? And then like 5 minutes later, we just know what it is. Like, okay. Now, coming off of the dream that she had that I thought there was no way that she would actually retain that memory, she actually did. So we're just going straight on to finding our MC's, not Madoka, younger sister. And, oh my god, there she is this time. I'm beyond a shadow of a doubt. I even went back twice to look at her face. That right there is Madoka.
I wish for Ui's disease to be cured.
well, as far as it goes for characters that we have that look exactly like Madoka that aren't Madoka, we have 2 so far. Welcome, I don't know, Beep Boop Bop, whatever her name is, and then Wee or something. I don't even. Who's naming these people? Ui, Yui. I don't really know. But following the only lead that she currently has, which is the name of a hospital that she remembers, she follows it. Where is this hospital? Well, Kamihama City, of course. Not like we literally just went there and then we're also just told,
far more witches here. Stronger witches. There's nothing to save you here. You two shouldn't have come.
but I guess whatever, right? The funny thing to me is she doesn't even, like, think about this. Like, she didn't even pay it like a thought. Like, she wasn't even like, oh, but that person who saved me told me not to come back here. No, we're just immediately going.
It's more likely you had false memories implanted in your mind, and only think you had a sister.
And so we're back on more public transport, because that went so well the first 2 times. And you're never gonna believe it. She got attacked again! We have been on public transport 3 times, and we've been attacked all 3 times. Other than in the intro segment, we were essentially getting, like, a look at the city. Maybe just, like, walk next time. I don't know. You know how fast Madoka could walk? She could walk from, like, one end to Matakihara City to the other, bruh. Why are you such a bum, Iua? Not Madoka. And so the passengers of the bus all get attacked by a witch. This witch just kind of looking like the Vex from Destiny 2 at least. Or at least the familiars do. I don't even really remember if we saw the actual witch by the time we... It doesn't matter. Now, as Not Madoka is fighting her way through the labyrinth, she runs into a new character, which is awesome because we didn't even get enough time with the other 2, because I literally called both of them not Homura. Oh well. Now, this new girl is, well, she's not the bravest, you know. Much like the lion from The Wizard of Oz, she could use some lessons in valor. She's running away from the witch, seemingly, and then bumps into Not Madoka, and then Not Madoka also joins her in the screaming and whining, and then they both run away in what is, like, probably one of the silliest sequences ever, especially coming off of last episode, where she fought 2 witches head-on herself, but this time it's just like, oh my god, panic, run.
I'm sorry.
I digress.
We don't
Also,
get a chance, so let's get
I
out
could
of
swear
here.
I know this VA from somewhere. That voice, second I heard that, I was like, that's somebody. That's somebody. I know that's somebody. That's a specific somebody. I would know that. When I watch these episodes, I always make sure to make, like, notes for myself, because since I feel like writing a script for album 2 would just be too much time, and then it would be too rehearsed and such, far too long a process for me to want to get these out. I just write, like, these little notes so that I'll remember, like, my points of conversation, and it just says Not Madoka is not tough at all. Legendary. So, after being heroically saved by yet another new character, that being the flame DPS that I once rolled in Magia Record, her name being Momoko. And they gave her an entrance, to say the least. Who's running the animation team here? I know it's not Gen. You're vile. This will also continue. This, not a great track. Not a great path that we're going down, but whatever. We then get introduced to... Oh my god. Someone I'd actually, like, kind of sort of know via, like, association kind of a little bit. I skipped all of her story. But look! That's the breaker that I use in Xedra. I know her. Her name is... Rana! Ah, yes. You see, I knew that because... No, I didn't, but... She's really good in Magia Record. The difference here is she actually sucks, and I don't really like her that much. And to be honest, I kind of just want to use Not Madoka as my breaker now, knowing the personality that's... whatever. Now, Reina is an absolute massive tsundere to the point where, like, it's not even, like, cute in the trope way. Like, she's just, like, genuinely, like, rude and unlikable. Or maybe that's just me not being into that little character trope. You know, I have a friend named Emma who I think might like this character very much. Me personally, not really jiving with her bells there. You know, the sound of her whistle. We continue. We continue, I guess. So after being kind of saved, I don't really know. Not Madoka still gets knocked out.
Oh no! Kaede!
And then ends up here. If you don't know where this is, it's the cover. It's the cover. It's like you look and it says Magia Record and it's got like them on it. That's where we are right now. I mean, like, it looks the same to me. You got the painted glass in the background and like all the shenanigans. Look, it's that like ruined sofa right there. You can't really see it, but it's there. Is it bad that I don't know who, like, almost everybody here is? And yet, funny enough, I almost have all of them in Magia Xedra. I have her, I have her, I have her, I have her, and I have her. I just don't have that one. And she's seemingly the least important one, because she's the only one sitting. So, I stay out here winning. Bars! Now, this lustrous land that we bear witness to is called the Coordinators.
We're at the Coordinators.
A place that is foreign to not Madoka because she is not from Kamihama City. Instead, she's from the other one that I forgot already because I only knew it when I looked it up in yesterday's track. But nonetheless, this place is essentially a place of refuge for magical girls. They say that it acts as a hospital and I don't know, what was the other word they used? Roll the clip.
It's sort of like a hospital and counseling center in one for magical girls.
Enter that! Which is kind of neat. So obviously we can see that in Kamihama City, there's a lot of reform here. A system that's in place. Things are run very differently than Mitakihara City. I mean, there's teams, buildings specifically made for magical girls, territories. I mean, they kind of got things running here. It's a system. It's a craft, a trade, a job. It has been turned into what was the unthinkable and modernized. Where we were in Mitakihara City, things were just rampant chaos. Mommy was essentially the only person there, and even when other magical girls came in, there wasn't really a sense of order. They just walked around until they so happened upon a witch, and prayed that they would win. Whereas in Kamihama, there's a lot of a different system here. There's territories, there's teams. If you can't win a fight, you can leave and come here for refuge. Very interesting. But the three characters that take us to this wonderful place, I will call the McDonald's trio because their most notable scene took place in a McDonald's. No, I'm not lying. This is real. Now, first off, we already were slightly introduced to Momoko and the tsundere, Rina. But our third and, you know, the scaredy cat little one, this is Kaede.
By the way, Hi, my name's Kaide Akino.
And instantly, I thought of the sister from Rascal Doesn't Dream About Bunny Girl Senpai as soon as I heard that name. And then I was like, oh my god, is that? No, it's not the same voice actor, but I was so close. I was like, it's gonna come to me at some point, man. It's on its way. And so, Not Madoka informs them of her objective to find her sister at this hospital that she may or may not be at. To which Reina accuses her that she is speaking absolute nonsense.
Are you sure that's okay? No, it's not okay. We have our own investigation to look into. Yeah, but we've been looking for a week and haven't found anything. Maybe it would actually be good to take the day.
Shut your mouth!
That what she's saying doesn't make any sense. And I just have to say, really? Like, out of absolutely everything that happens in your world, someone having, like, just like amnesia? That's unfathomable to you? What? You fight monsters every day that are made out of, like, motorcycles. There's, like, a witch out there that's literally made out of dessert. And yet, someone just, like, forgetting? That's unfathomable? Pick your battles, man. Jeez. And so, the McDonald's trio say that their current objective was to find the Chains Witch. Which, I think that might actually be the first time, kind of ever, where a witch is actually sort of, like, named. I mean, in all of Madoka Magica, the witches aren't named because they just encounter them, they fight, prayed that they would win. The end. But this one is a bit more reputable. You see, the Chain Witch comes from a fairy tale? Or a rumor. It comes from a rumor, one that I'll explain later. And so that's why this one actually has a name, which is another cool, like, difference between Madoka Magica and Magia Record. We actually have named witches, other than, you know, just like Valpurgisnacht. But apparently, according to Exedra, that's called the Stage Witch. I don't really know why, but I digress. And so McDonald's team volunteers to help out Not Madoka, 2 of them willing and 1 of them reluctant. And it turns out that Rina can change her form. That's her gimmick. I didn't even know that because in Magia Exedra, she does not use this in any of her attacks, so I did not know that that was her technique. So after becoming a nurse and sneaking into the hospital, they find out that her sister was not currently nor ever registered there. But if I'm being perfectly frank, the fact that she had literally vanished from the memories of everyone who would have ever known her, and also literal photographs, I don't really know why we thought hospital records were the one sacred thing that would retain her memory. Because, like, let's really break that down right here. You have a photo where you are with nobody. You know who is supposed to be there, but nobody is there. So, why would the hospital records still have her in the system? To McDonald's! So fast forward to McDonald's, and the reason that I call them the McDonald's trio is because they literally have a reserved table.
That's so freaky.
We saved you a seat. Momoko and the others have a usual table here.
But, like, not as in they reserved it earlier, they just have one that they always go to. Like, this is, like, their little place. Like, if they had a spin-off show and it was, like, Friends, this would be, like, their diner, you know, their spot in Seinfeld. Anyway, it seems that robots have become commonplace to use in places of public service. I mean, we can see one here in McDonald's and then also one in the hospital. Speaking of other electronic things, it seems like there's a lot of propaganda. In the ads on the trains and buses And the holograms in the McDonald's, there's just these weird messages. A good witch is a dead witch. Silence is silver, or no. Whispering is silver, but silence is golden. It's like something like that. And then in McDonald's, the holograms say, 2 birds with 1 stone, 3 heads is better than 1. Who is putting these cryptic messages in my Mickey D's? Whatever. So, I can really only describe this scene as the most awkward and uncomfortable argument ever, but not because that's how they felt, that's how I felt. And I also have to imagine that's how Not Madoka felt, because she's just watching the 3 of them just like go for each other's throats. And I mean like really go at each other, like Rina was being kind of ruthless, man. I mean, immediately she went for Kaide's wish, which is like, listen, man, I can't speak from experience, but like, if I was a magical girl, making fun of your wish is kind of a big deal, because you literally exchanged everything for that one thing. So for someone to demoralize you for that, I'm not gonna let that slide, and neither does Kaide. She does not let that go. She immediately retorts and says, "This is why you have no friends."
See? This is exactly why you don't have any friends in class, Rena.
Damn! Okay. And, it just kind of gets worse from there. And so, Kaide runs away crying. And then Momoko certainly gives an attempt to help. And then Rina leaves. And Not Madoka just sat there and, like, witnessed it all. If Not Madoka is, not one of the, like, top 10 bystanders of all time, I don't know who is, because not only has she said less words than probably everyone else in this episode so far, but she literally didn't say almost any words in that whole scene. Legendary. I have in my notes, it just says not the most functional team. That's pretty, yeah. Anyway, my little theory for the holograms there is that 2 of them are gonna die, because it says 2 birds with 1 stone, 3 heads are better than 1. I mean, if that's not some, like, easy foreshadowing, I don't know what is. And so, after the most uncomfortable 3 minutes of my life there, we are informed of a rumor about the Chain Witch, about the staircase of ruined friendships, or like something. I didn't write down what they called it, so I'll have it play in a clip.
The one about the friendship-ending staircase?
Huh?
So, the rumor goes as follows. There's this staircase inside of Kamihama's school on, you know, between floor 4 and 3 or something. It causes people's friendships to end. You see, if you write your name on the 6th step, and then you write someone else's name on the 7th step, then that will cause both of you to never see each other again. However, if one person wants to reconcile, the first person to apologize will be cursed, and they will get sucked into the staircase and forced to clean. What? What even is this rumor? What? Huh? So, there's a random staircase in the school. You write names on steps 6 and 7, and then you don't become friends, and then if you try and make up, you get forced to clean. Who made this? Who wrote this? Sure, whatever. Now, doing that thing that they like to do, this plot point moves along instantly, and I actually expected that they would do this already, because, I mean, 3 is definitely already a pattern. as soon as anything gets brought up that I assume will be for later, I'm just going to assume that it will be for 2 minutes ahead from now, or just when the person who's talking stops talking, because that is famously how it's gone so far. And now, after taking a brief intermission with the high quality budget there, I mean, did you see how flowy that hair was? See? Play that again! Play that again! Now play it one more time. Now play the Christmas clip that we had from that other video. Yeah. Now play. Anyway, now after going to an arcade with not Madoka and Kaide, I finally realized who it was. It's Rem. Rem is Kaide. Rem from Re:Zero. Oh, I finally got it. You know what it was? It was her like wanting to apologize, and then I instantly thought of that line where she asks Subaru if he wants to make a baby. And then I was like, oh, that's her, man. That's her. She went from one anime with the MC forgetting someone important, just straight to the next. I mean, on the bright side, she's not in the chair anymore. So, that helps. Who's Rem, am I right? Hey, see, I know more than just Madoka Magica. Man, they really killed that. That was so bad. Why did they do that? Why did you do... like, I get it, man. Amelia did need some time to shine, but, like... was that the way to do it? Whatever, gang. Whatever we say. And so, in the arcade, we meet unnamed character, like, number 3 at this point. But, I know who this is from Magia Record. This is Soul Salvation! Yeah, I bet you thought I would know her name, didn't you? No, I don't. In Magia Record, everyone doesn't have their name displayed, they have their ult. I don't know why they chose that. Like, before, I only know Momoko as Edge of the Universe, and then I also know Rina as Infinite Poseidon, and then this girl as Soul Salvation. But I guess it doesn't really matter because we didn't get her name anyway because it was actually Rina! Meaning that clearly this other girl is important, but we literally don't even know who that is because we've literally never met her. But I'm glad that she impersonated her and failed anyway. Now, Kaide tries her absolute hardest to apologize to Rina, which, might I just say, you did not need to. Girlfriend, snap, snap, snap. I can't snap really in these gloves, it just makes a pop sound. You did not need to.
Rena, I'm sorry.
After all that she was saying, like all the smoke she was coming at for no reason, I feel like the retaliation was justified. I wouldn't have sat there and took that. But Kaide, being the kind, Rem-like that she is, decides to apologize anyway. But because that Rina wrote their names on the 6th and 7th step of the cursed staircase that makes you clean, Rina gets cursed, even though that was not what they said was supposed to happen, but translation error? Oh well. So she ends up getting hit by like a witch domain expansion, but not quite a labyrinth. It's a little different. And I gotta say, this was a good start to having a little bit of an eerie, kind of creepy scene. I mean, it was a little edgy. It was a little off-putting, you know? It's not quite like the scope of Madoka Magica so far, but like, I can see that there was remnants here. I saw the potential. When they were in the smoke and, they were getting a little experimental with some shots and, the voices were coming out, I was like, okay. We're kind of somewhere right now. We're not really getting somewhere, but we're a little somewhere. We're a little somewhere right now. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. And then the episode ends. Yeah. That's the end right there. Ends you on a little cliffhanger. It's part of a series. And so we finally get the outro. I don't really have anything to say about the outro. The outro is actually just entirely dedicated to not Homura. So I really don't have anything to say. Other than just like the first few shots were in real life, which really reminded me of Wonder Egg Plus Priority, which is a very conflicting show, to say the least. See, look at all the references I'm making today, man. I'm really beating the Just Madoka guy allegations. You know, I mentioned ReZero and Wonder Egg Plus Priority. Only one of those is really worth mentioning, but still shows I know some things every now and then. And we got like some fan art at the end, but well, whoa. This is weird. Well, first of all, who even is this? Like, no lie, I don't know who this character is. Like, they didn't even show this person. Is this Soul Salvation? When did she get so tan and so... Who chose for this to be at the end of the episode? This feels very out of place. Like, what even happens after? Is that a ad? They put a ad at the end of the episode. Look, download on the App Store, Google Play. Oh my God! Who is in charge of these ending scenes? Well, first of all, in the last one we had like Pop Team Epic, and then we just had like literal deviant art, and now we have an ad, just like a straight up ad for Magia Record. You can't even get this game in the west side of the world anyway. God damn, yo. All right, cool. Well, this was certainly an eventful track, to say the least. I mean, we have a secondary, younger, not Madoka. We have Rem, Momoko, and then girl that I don't really like, but her break gauge is really, really high in Exedra, so via obligation, I simply must continue to use her. Still can't snap. Can only make popping sound like a pea shooter, like bubble wrap. Whatever. So I hope you all enjoyed this track of the Magia Records. I hope you all had a very festive holiday. I mean, I had a great holiday. Oh yeah. But alas, one thing that I simply can't get out of my head from this episode is really just that. Now hold on and just wait one moment. I know that everything was wrapping up, you know, it was giving an awesome conclusion, and the track was going down, and the music was fading out, and we were talking about the outro. I know. But I just had to come back and give a quick little update. First of all, I actually kind of initially planned to release this track yesterday, but if I'm gonna be honest, the Christmas event in Magia Exedra was ending yesterday, and I decided that I needed to finish that before this. So I pushed this date to New Year's because I was also like, well, that's cool. You know, track 2, album 2 on the New Year's. Like, that's neat. But regardless, going forward, Christmas break is nearing a closure, and I have final exams that I actually need to study for. Oh my god. So, album 2 will be taking a slight break for continuing a little bit. However, this does not mean that we will be taking a break. The long-awaited track 3 of album 1 will be the priority of next week. So that will be coming out next week. I just gotta say, I like how consistent we have been so far. Every track has been coming out between 5 to around 9 days, and that's exactly how I wanted it to be. When I start a track, I plan to have it posted 5 to 9 days after.
And it's been consistent, usually being like around 5 to 7. So, going forward, track 3 is on its way. That has sort of been the arc of my winter break, and I need to get it out before it becomes my New Year's resolution to finish it. So anyway, I hope you all have an amazing New Year. I hope you all get good New Year's resolution and some good, I don't know, food? Hopefully they drop some good content in Magia Records as well. Unrelated!
But another thing that I just had to talk about. So, I was just being me, relaxing in my room, scrolling on Twitter as I do every now and then when I want to put my mood into a worse mood. And I saw that Studio Shaft is celebrating their... Is it 30th or 50th? I don't know. Here's I'll put up an image, like, here, if it's the 30th or not. Now, Studio Shaft is celebrating an anniversary, and, to commemorate this, they opened up, like, a museum, and I could not stop getting posts about this on my Twitter page. And oh my god, they went crazy style for this. I'm talking banners in the city, ads on trains, an entire building. There is a staircase that leads to, like, the most ominous looking room, and it has the poster for the new movie printed, painted on the stairs. Oh my god. Homura and Madoka were even at this event. They have 2 statues of Kyubey that mimic the Kitsune. Like, I love bringing up things that most people won't know, and then I talk about it, and then people are always like, wow, he knows so much, and then it's like, how'd you learn this? Yeah. Overwatch 2. You know, the Kitsune? Search it up yourself. Anyway, there was so much stuff here. They had walls dedicated to frames of the show. They had, like, different ads for, like, the remake that they made, because they did a remake. They wanted to build hype for the new movie going forward because, like, guys, it's been, like, 14 years. Like, how long can we hang on a cliff? Man, there's only so long. Like, everyone who was the target demographic, like the target audience, when Madoka Magica started, is, like, pushing 30 now. My older sister is one of these people. So, to say that they needed to, you know, re-stir the pot a bit, you know, the milk was getting a little frothy, you need to get it back. Oh, yeah. And I think opening this big... I don't even really know what it is, because another thing, too, is that, of course, this place is in Japan, so all of the posts I was getting were also always written in Japanese, so I don't know what they're saying. I'm like a kid who's like 4 years old picking up a book for the first time and just looking at the pictures. I don't know how to read these words, and Google Translate isn't going to help me either, and also actually, why didn't I think to do that? That's not the point right now! All of this cool stuff, I just had to shed some light on it. You know, I'm not, you know, moist critical. I'm not like a commentary YouTuber, you know. I know I got a setup in a chair and all that, but, you know, I don't sit down and talk about daily slop and whatever's all in the head. But, like, come on, this is a big event. This big building is opening up, and the world itself seems to, well, not the world, the city in Japan itself seems to just be turning into Madoka Magica. It's everywhere. You go into a cafe and they're collabing with Madoka Magica. You go into a superstore and they're collabing with Madoka Magica. You go into a building and the building is just about Madoka Magica. The world is shifting. Japan is coming back to the year 2010 when Madoka Magica was like a global-wide sensation. And all I gotta say, man, is I'm here for it, you know? I am goddamn here for it. If I was, like, rich and was like Logan Paul, I would have been on the first train there to film, like, a vlog. I'm just imagining that right now. You know what? Maybe that'll be my New Year's resolution. I want this channel to generate enough revenue so that I can pay for a trip to go to the Madoka Magica Studio Shaft building and walk on the Valpurgis Noct Rising staircase. Now that would truly be something. But no, that is truly all I had to talk about. I mean, I just had to get that out of my system, and I didn't want to wait to the next album 2 track, because like I said, next track that's coming out is going to be Snake in the Garden, and that one's already filmed, and that's an album 1 track. Those are the serious ones. I can't have me talking about just goofy old Twitter posts on the serious album. That's what album 2 is for me to talk about things that are dumb, like Rascal Doesn't Dream About Bunny Girl Senpai, and, well, Studio Shaft. But anyway, I've been saying SYK, and maybe in the New Year's, we'll finally end.
Hey everyone, Saint SYK here. Just let the track end already. I know you've been talking about nothing forever. Well, as you might have remembered earlier, when I said, I meant to release this yesterday was December 30th, but evidently, no it isn't. So Saint, why did literally everything go wrong ever? Well, first off, the entire setup got broken, and as I was going to post this new track that I already delayed because I had to talk about more stuff, that's when I realized that YouTube got rid of the other track, which was actually hilarious to me because when I posted it, I double checked and it said that everything was good. It was then up for 3 days and then taken down. Bruh. But the thing that is like, obviously I'm not like, just let me break the law. What? God, why can't I just commit crime in peace? No, that's not my problem. My problem is that clearly something wasn't working right, because there are segments in the video that are flagged and they're like 6 minutes long. And I was sitting there and I was like, okay, well, I know for a hard fact that there was no 6-minute clip of Magia Record in there, because I triple checked the video myself. And then that's when I looked at it and realized that it was getting flagged for nothing. So there's just multiple segments that they say are a problem, and it's just me talking. It's just me. Am I copyrighted? Did Studio Shaft copyright me? Is Saint SYK permanently under the hold of Studio Shaft now? Do I belong to Gen Urobuchi? I don't know. So, obviously, I went to go work on it. And then I hurt my leg. Yeah, that's right. I tore a ligament in the left side of my leg. And then the day after, I got sick. So this year's a little cursed. But one thing I do like to say is that I love when the odds are most stacked against me. When the odds are most against me, that's when I rise. That's when I do my best work. So you know what? Maybe I'm a little down right now. Maybe track 3 is taking like 2 months to come out at this rate. But you know what? I won't lose. So for the final and for real time,
Was really just that. No one knows our record.